Meanwhile, a public affairs commentator who is also a lecturer of political science with the Federal University Gusau, Dr. Aminu Idris Gusau, is here with us in our studio to discuss the issue. Dr. Aminu, you're welcome to the Standard Voice Television News.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay, so what is your take on the recent controversy over picking of Qasim Shatima as the running mate of the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Well, I think for me there is nothing wrong there. It's just that in Nigeria we have this culture of creating something out of nothing. For me, I think the constitutional requirement should be the focus, whether he's qualified to run as a vice president or not. And I think it is high time we look at the core issues and drop this politics of sentiment, especially religion, politics, and regionalism. I think it will take us nowhere. And I think if you look at the Kashif Shetima's profile, of course it's in the public domain. He's qualified by all means to run as a vice president. Looking at his background in the private and public sector, he was in the banking sector and left as at managerial cadre. He was in the academia as a lecturer. He was a governor, and now a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I think, looking at his profile, Nigerians can judge, not minding his religion or ethnicity or where he comes from, to see whether he is capable. I think three things matters when you're looking onto a kind of leadership or who is expected to be a leader. I think the most important thing for me is competency. Then secondly, you look at the issue of integrity, and you look at the issue of trust. Look at the individual on the basis of these three requirements and see if he has possessed this cardinal requirement. I think there is nothing wrong with that person being a leader. After all, the electorates will judge. And I think it is high time we also look at the implication of this politics of religion and manipulation of religion in Nigerian politics. It doesn't take us anywhere. And of course, from 1993 till date, we thought something good would happen in Nigerian political landscape. But of course, we keep moving from, let me say, I don't want to use some words, but we keep moving 2 steps forward and 3 steps backward. In 1993, religion wasn't an issue in Nigerian politics. There was a Muslim ticket, presumably won by Abiola and late Abiola and Babagana Kingibe. It wasn't an issue then. But why is it an issue in the Fourth Republic after 20 years of democratic experiment? I think we should have a rethink. We should look at the basic issues, not sentiment, not secondary issues. We should look at the key issues of governance and see who possesses them the most, the qualities. And I think that should be the yardstick, not religion, not ethnicity. Let me ask you this question. We take our children to school, isn't it? Do you ever care to know who is the teacher, looking at his faith, whether it's a Christian or Muslim? If you take a child or yourself to a doctor in the hospital, do you care to know his religion? But because you trust the person, you believe in him, of course you submit yourself.
But don't you think the Christians have the right to be represented in the
country? Everyone has the right to be represented. Everyone. The Muslims, the Christians, the Hausas, the Fulanis. And if we begin to use religion as a yardstick, others will come up with ethnicity as also a yardstick for having access to presidential powers or political power. So I think for me the most important thing is the cardinal point of competency, integrity, and trust, not religion or ethnicity. It won't take us anywhere. I think, look at where we copied the democracy from. Take, for instance, US. I think the last president before Donald Trump was Barack Obama, a black man, isn't it? A migrant. Who is the current vice president in the United States, isn't it? So these are issues we should be looking at. The competency of a candidate, not his ethnicity or religion or something of that nature, originalism. No, it won't take us anywhere. I think if you look at Babagana, Shetima, I think Shetima possesses, for me, this is my opinion, the requisite requirement to run for the office of the vice president. But I think it's also left for the electorate to judge whether he is competent, whether he has the integrity, and whether he has this trust that will earn him and the presidential candidate the Nigerian vote. But I think in the forthcoming election, 2023 is around the corner, I think it's high time Nigerians look beyond the issue of ethnicity and religion. And if religion counts, and if there is any correlation between religion and development, look at the situation in the Northwest today. Is President Muhammad Buhari not from the northwestern part of the country? What is the situation of the northwestern part of the country today, as we speak, regarding insecurity and the rest of that, isn't it? So for me, there is no correlation between your religion and your quality of governance. No. What matters is your leadership skills, your trust, integrity. If you possess them, fine, you're good to go. I think for me, Nigerians should be looking onto those kind of qualities, not religion, ethnicity, or the rest of that. And I think over time, I've always made this argument that ethnicity, religion, originality has never been the problem of Nigeria, but the manipulation of ethnicity, religion, and regionalism by the political elite at the National Assembly, who talk about religion or ethnicity. At the presidency, at the executive council, who talk about ethnicity or religion? Nobody. It's only at the grassroots level that the politicians exploit religion, ethnicity to divide us for their selfish political interest. And I think we should be mindful of that.
Okay, so many people consider this kind of imbalance as a major root of conflict and crisis in Nigeria. Do you also share the same view?
Conflict in which way?
Anyway.
I think, like I've said earlier, it's not the issue or the political conflict in Nigeria or armed violence that are related to religion, ethnicity, and regionalism are not necessarily because of religion. Because by the mere fact that people are divided along an ethnic and religious line, I think that is not the issue. The issue of the political elite manipulating religion and ethnicity to achieve the political goals. That is all. They divide us. It doesn't matter who is there. What matters most is who has the capacity to deliver, who has the capacity to secure the nation, who has the capacity to unite this nation, who has the capacity to transform this nation in terms of infrastructure, generally welfare. Who can give us the good roads, the good hospital, the quality education? I think this should be our primary concern, not Christian or Muslim. And if you talk about religion and simply use it as a yardstick, of course, there are other religions. For instance, there are traditionalists. How will you define them? Where will you place them in the Nigerian political landscape? Are they not Nigerians? So I think for me, I think we should go beyond religion, regionalism, and ethnicity when it comes to the issue of Nigerian politics. We should look at competency, we should look at integrity, we should look at trust. Who can we trust? Looking at these antecedents. I think that is what matters most. Not looking at whether it's a Muslim, Christian, or it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Aminu. So that's all I have for you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.